This video is created by Jagrat Creation. It is on accounting for business purchased by a company. Here the business of a partnership firm is purchased by the company. I wish to solve one sum here before you. Just observe the sum on the screen. Balance sheet of Rajesh and Rakesh as on 31st of December 2017 is as under. These are the assets and liabilities and capital. Asmita Company Limited was incorporated to take over the above business. The terms regarding the purchase of business were as under. Company take over all assets and liabilities except debtors and creditors. So debtors and creditors are not purchased by the company. The company agreed to collect the debtors and pay the creditors on behalf of the vendor. Company is entitled to get 5% commission on the amount collected from debtors and 2% of the amount paid to creditors. Company has collected 1 lakh from the debtors. Discount allowed to the debtors 6,000, where bad debts 14,000. So, amount collected from debtors 1 lakh. Bad debts 14,000, discount allowed 6,000, total make 1,20,000. So 1,20,000 total debtors are collected. From that 14,000 are the bad debts, 6,000 is the discount, cash received 1 lakh. So 1,20,000 debtors are collected. Here the total debtors are 1,50,000. So 1,50,000 minus 1,20,000, 30,000 are the debtors yet not collected, but they are going to be collected in future. That is the understanding. The company settled the account of creditors worth 80,000, creditors are 90,000. Out of that, payment is made to the creditors of 80,000 and payment is made 75,000. So discount received is 5,000. The company paid 10,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each at 10% premium, 15% debenture 1,000 of rupees 100 each, and 40,000 cash as a purchase price. Assuming that the remaining balance paid by the company, prepare vendors, debtors account, creditors account, pass necessary journal entries in the books of company. Now for this sum, here the business of partnership firm is purchased by the company. What is the purchase price of business? I want to find out the purchase price of the business first of all. And to find out the purchase price of business, I will record the purchase of assets and liabilities, and it will be compared with the payment made against the purchase price. The difference between the two may be identified as goodwill. So to find out the goodwill, let me prepare first of all the purchase consideration statement. So here I prepare purchase consideration statement. What assets and liabilities are purchased will be recorded here. Payment made there against will be recorded here. Payment made will be compared with the net assets to find out the amount of goodwill or capital reserve, whatever it may be. Let us start. This is the balance sheet. Company takes over all assets and liabilities except debtors and creditors. So debtors and creditors are not taken. So building is taken for 1,70,000. You are not given any value other than value for the building. So all the assets and liabilities are presumed to have been purchased at book value. So factory purchased, then stock purchased, cash and bank balance purchased, bills payable liability purchased is deducted from the total value of assets. Bank quote of 70,000. So these are the liabilities purchased. Now for this purchase, how the payment is made? 10,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each are given. Security premium is 10%. 10% of 10 rupees. 1 rupee is the security premium. So 10,000 into 1 is the security premium. So equity shares are given for the purchase of business for a value of 1,10,000. Out of that, 1 lakh is the face value, 10,000 is the security premium. Debentures issued, 1 lakh. Cash paid 40,000. So this is the payment made for the purchase of these assets and liabilities. Let me find out the total payment, that is the purchase price of the business. So purchase price works out to be 2,50,000. So here I write 2,50,000. Total of assets, 170 plus 120 plus 40 plus 10,000. That works out to be 3,40,000. From that, liabilities are deducted 1 lakh. So you will get the net assets of 2,40,000, for which payment made is 2,50,000. So excess payment is identified as goodwill. So goodwill pay 10,000. So to find out the value of goodwill, I have prepared this purchase consideration statement. Now I want to prepare another working note because I am also required to write down the journal entries for debtors collected by me on behalf of the firm and creditors paid by me on behalf of the firm. For that I am going to prepare one statement. wherein total debtors minus yet not collected. I will get the total collected debtors. From that, bad debt and discount allowed will be deducted. Cash received from the debtors will be worked out. Similarly, total creditors minus yet not paid is equal to creditors paid minus discount received. That is the net payment made to creditors. I'll prepare a working note for that, and the cash collected from debtors on that I am entitled to a commission, and the amount paid to creditors I am entitled to commission. So I want to work out the commission before I start writing the journal entry. And this is the format which I suggest to the student. From debtors yet to be collected, debtors collected, minus bad debt, discount allowed, cash received from debtors. Now total firm creditors, yet not paid, settled, discount received, cash paid. Now cash balance available for payment to the vendor firm after deducting commission. So this is how the layout is to be prepared. Now on the basis of that, total debtors 1,50,000, creditors are 90,000. So I have assumed the debtors of 1,50,000 and creditors of rupees 90,000. From the proceeds from debtors, creditors will be paid. Now, this is the details given to me. The company agreed to collect the debtors and creditors. So, I am entitled to have a commission of 5% of the amount collected from debtors, cash received from debtors multiplied by 5% is my commission. And 2% is the commission for the amount paid to creditors. So, this is a commission will be deducted from the net cash balance. Now, company has collected, so cash received from debtors 1 lakh. Now, discount allowed while receiving cash 1 lakh 6,000 and bad debts occurred 14,000. On the basis of this, 1 lakh is the cash received, 6,000 is the discount allowed, 14,000 is the bad debt. So total debtors collected are 1,20,000. Out of 1,50,000, 1,20,000 debtors are collected. 30,000 debtors are yet not collected. That I'll find out. Now, so far as creditors is concerned, settled 80,000. Amount received 75,000. So 75,000 is the amount received. 75,000 is the amount received. 75,000 is the amount paid to the creditors. So discount received is 5,000. Now 1,06,000, 1,06,000, 14,000 is a bad debt. So amount collected from debtors 1,20,000, 30,000 debtors are yet not collected. This discount received is 5,000. Creditors yet not paid 10,000. So 90,000 minus 10,000 creditors not paid, 80,000 settled. Discount received 5,000. Amount paid to creditors 75,000. Cash collected from debtors 1 lakh. Cash paid to creditors 75,000. Net cash balance available 25,000. From that 1 lakh into 5% and 75,000 into 2%, that is the commission that will be deducted. So 1 lakh into 5%, 5,000. 75,000 into 2%, 1,500. 6,500 commission is deducted. So 18,500 is the amount paid to firm. Now I want to write down the journal entry. The business purchase for 2,50,000. So business purchase account debit to vendor firm account credit. Now what is purchased in business? Assets are purchased in the business. So assets comes in your ownership. Debit what comes in your ownership. All the assets purchased will be debited. So land and building account debit, factory account debit, stock account debit, cash and bank balance account debit, goodwill account debit, to bills payable, to bank overdraft, to business purchase account credit. So this business purchase account debit is now credited for 2,50,000. Now I would like to write down the entry for the payment made. So vendor firm is paid 2,50,000. How the payment is made? Vendor firm is the receiver. Debit the receiver. Vendor firm account debit to equity share capital 1 lakh, to security premium 10,000, to 15% debentures, and to cash or bank account 40,000. This is how 3 entries I have recorded for the purpose of purchase of business. Now, business purchase to vendor, assets account debit, liabilities account credit to business purchase account, vendor firm account debit to payment account credit. This is how entries gets recorded in the books of company. Now I want to write down the journal entry for all these things. Now see, I have assumed to collect the debtors of 1,50,000. So firm debtors account debit. These are the three accounts also I am going to prepare. Firm debtors account debit 1,50,000 to vendor suspense account. So I take the debtors and I am obliged to pay to the firm the amount collected, not exactly 1,50,000. So though I take the debtors of 1,50,000, I commit to pay not 1,50,000. I am required to pay the amount received from the debtors after, and from that I am going to deduct the commission. So amount payable is less than 1,50,000, but the amount payable to the firm by collecting his debtors, the amount is not certain. That's why firm suspense account, vendor suspense account is recorded. So suspense account is credited, vendor debtors account is debited. Now I have committed to pay the creditors. So creditor is a liability. I have assumed the liability and committed to pay on behalf of the partnership firm. So journal entry for vendor suspense account debit to vendor debtors account credit. So suspense account is debited with 90,000 and vendor creditors account is credited with 90,000. So this is the amount of debtors. This is the amount of creditors. The difference between the two. If the total amount of debtors is received and total payment is made to creditors, then 150 minus 90, 60,000 from that commission will be deducted and the amount will be paid to the firm. And to find out the amount paid to the firm, this vendor suspense account is prepared. So here suspense account debit to creditors account credit. Now 1 lakh rupees are received and 14,000 and 6,000 is a bad debts and discount. This bad debt and discount are the losses. Who is going to suffer this loss? Company? No, company is not going to suffer the loss because company is collecting the debtors on behalf of the partnership firm, and this loss of 14,000 and 6,000 is to be borne and suffered by the partnership firm. So this loss will be debited to firm suspense account because out of 1,50,000, the bad debts and discount allowed are the expenses. They are to be deducted from 1,50,000. So vendor suspense account will be debited for this 14,000 and 6,000. Cash received by me is 1 lakh. So bank account debit 1 lakh. Vendor suspense account debit 20,000, 14,000 plus 6,000 to vendor debtors account credit 1,20,000. So cash received credited to vendor's debtors account 20,000. Vendor suspense account debit to vendor's debtors account credit. So out of 1,50,000, 20,000 loss adjusted against that. So amount payable 1,50,000 minus 20,000. But yet not collected will be considered later on. Now I am required to write down the entry for the payment made to creditors. The exact payment made to creditors, the cash paid is 75,000. Discount earned 5,000. Discount earned is an income. Is it an income of the company? No, it is not the income of the company. It is the income of the partnership firm. And income of the partnership firm will be credited to vendor suspense account. So vendor creditors account debit to vendor suspense account to bank account. Now ledger posting. Creditors account debit to bank account. Creditors account debit 5,000 to suspense account credit 5,000. This is how entry for payment to creditors is recorded. Now these two payments are made. Now I am required to write down the entry for commission 6,500. Now this commission is going to be deducted from the amount payable for suspense. Commission is an income of the company, but it is an expense of the partnership firm. So expense of partnership firm will be debited to firm suspense account as you have debited bad debts and discount. So vendor suspense account debit 6,500 to goodwill account credit. This is a capital income and the goodwill is 10,000. 10,000 goodwill Against that, we have received 6,500 as an income. That income will reduce the amount of goodwill. So from suspense account debit to goodwill account credit. Now this is a payment made to the firm from suspense account debit to cash or bank account credit. So from suspense account debit to cash or bank account credit. This is how the journal entries are recorded for collecting debtors on behalf of the partnership firm, payment of creditors on behalf of the partnership firm. When you collect the debtors, the bad debts and discount are the losses. Those losses are to be borne by the partnership firm, so it will be debited to partnership vendor suspense account. When you pay the creditors and if you earn discount, it is an income. That income is not of the company, that income is of the partnership firm. So vendor suspense account is to be credited for that. Commission is an income of the company but the expense of the partnership firm. So it is also debited to vendor suspense account. Now after writing all these journal entries, let me find out the balance of the various account. So 155 minus all this. So closing balance of vendor suspense account is 20,000. This is the balance of creditors account, 10,000 is the liability, and this 30,000 is the closing balance of debtors account. So 30,000 debtors, 10,000 creditors, 30 minus 10, 20 is the balance in suspense account. So this 20 plus 10 is equal to 30,000. This is how amount yet to be collected and yet to be paid is to be considered, and it represents even in suspense account. So I have recorded all the journal entries for these transactions. I have recorded the journal entry for purchase of business. Now I would like to represent all the journal entries at one place for your better understanding. So this is a sum wherein this suspense entries, collection of debtors on behalf of the firm and the payment of creditors on behalf of the firm is an important concept considered over here. I have tried to explain you all these things. I feel that you have followed all these things. Thanks to all of you.